Good morning, junior hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the very fun and enlightening junior hockey discussion group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, X, got it right this time, YouTube, Twitter. Today is Monday, February 5th, 2024. Today's topic. Tell me I'm going to be in trouble. This is one that's probably going to get me in a little bit of hot water, and that's all right. But it needs to be said. The ignorance of profanity. All right. Don't get your panties in a bundle just yet. Listen to what I have to say. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I get it. Not everybody is of the same mindset as I am, and that's okay. But here are the facts. There is no place in the game of hockey for the use of profanity, especially in a spectator setting. And that's what junior hockey is. For the most part, the bulk of the teams off the East Coast generate a lot of interest all across Canada, pretty much off the East Coast. Johnstown gets a lot of fans. Maine's doing better. But for the most part, from really 100 miles, 200 miles inland from the Atlantic, all the way to the Pacific, this is a spectator-driven sport. And we want to attract families to our games. And one of the biggest turnoff for any mom and dad is to hear these punk kids on the ice dropping F-bombs one after the other. So the case is true. There is no place for that in junior hockey. If you want to play men's league hockey, beer league hockey, and do that, nobody cares. No one's watching that stuff, right? So realize who your audience is and act accordingly. Coaches with a high degree of respect for the game and themselves refrain from that language. Those that do use it are reverting back to youthful ignorance where male dominance is rarely disputed. Listen, coaches, players have a difficult time respecting coaches that use profanity and never respond well to profanity-laced tirades that tear down a lot of kids' self-esteem. This is 2024. That stuff might have worked in 1994, but it's 30 years later. It's time to get past that stuff. Yeah, your dad may have did that to you, and your coach may have done that to you, but we're in a different era. Okay, that's the politically correct statement. Now let's talk about the reality of the situation. Nobody really needs to be tossing F-bombs around like firecrackers. Use of this language is generally tied to the inability to think of anything more intelligent to say. Some of these dummies will drop an F-bomb in place of everything to describe anything or nothing whatsoever. It's ridiculous. And it's immature. And it's a sign of a weak vocabulary. Now, the issue is not entirely a coach's issue or a player's issue. There's a video circulating where an on-ice official is heard using such language after an NHL player takes a dive worthy of a World Cup red card. And we're not soccer players. And the referee got caught on TV. Although I agree with the penalty, the official should consider an afternoon with the priest. Just saying. But that's not what inspired this story or inspired this topic today. Saturday, my daughter and I, she's 18, we went over to Clearwater to watch a pair of 2010 birth year teams play. One team from, I think, in the Washington, D.C. area, and another one from somewhere else. Maybe Boston, not sure. And I had to endure the ridiculousness of an overzealous parent. I'm talking to one of our clients. She has kids at multiple levels of play. This one happened to be one of her youngest ones. And while watching the game and communicating with her, I have to deal with some sweat hog, screaming bloody murder, cussing, dropping F-bombs, banging on the boards like a damn child. This is for a 2010 game. The parent's lack of self-control was simply embarrassing. It took a tremendous amount of restraint not to ask him to move to a different part of the arena where there weren't so many children and mothers. It's kind of, maybe I'm old school because I'm really old anyway, but it wasn't that long ago where that kind of vocabulary in the presence of a lady would be grounds to get a black eye or a bloody nose. Any gentleman would stand up and punch somebody in the face for that exact same behavior. But these days, no one's checking behavior, are they? I'm a dad, so maybe this subject hits a little closer to home. But this job requires a tremendous amount of communication. Being an advisor and doing what I do in the game, we get about 100 plus phone calls going in or coming out on any particular day. Some of the use of the speaker on my phone or the Bluetooth in the car is what I do most of the time. But when the kids were younger, I had to figure out a way to tactfully tell coaches and sometimes players, hey, you know what? My kids are in the car. My wife's in the car. Can you please not use that language without getting run over? That's when the kids were young. I had to become a professional at tactfully making that communication. Some coaches got it. Others find it impossible to hold an adult conversation without the use of profanity. Now, this is going to shock you. Here's what we've discovered. Coaches that frequently use profanity have a much lower win percentage than those that don't. Here's another dose of reality. Use of profanity on social media is an even greater indicator of ignorance. Players should know that all college coaches are looking over your social media accounts. What they do, they're trying to check your character, see what you will say and what you will not say. But the problem isn't players or just players or coaches or fans. I've seen a certain youth level skills coach continue to use profanity on Facebook. Why on Facebook? I try to tell them this is not a good look. You're trying to reach young families, young players, and parents are watching your profanity-laced tirades on social media. He didn't get it. Here's where we are. Junior hockey is supposed to be about developing hockey players, but it's also to help these young players mold themselves into young gentlemen. It's part of the maturation process. Intelligent speech is certainly one area of the game that we need to look at. Coaches need to grow up and realize they are influencing the lives of young men. Let's be clear. Nobody is going to be offended for not using profanity. No one's going to be mad at you for not dropping F-bombs. No one's going to be offended for you talking like a gentleman. Nobody. But when you turn it around and you drop F-bomb after F-bomb and can't hold the complete adult conversation, somebody will be offended. Check your surroundings. How are you going to act? That's it for today. Parents, kids, coaches. We've been dealing with this for a while. My wife gets mad at me because I am hearing this all day, and then I stub a toe or I get mad about something, and here comes the old D-man in me popping off. And it makes me crazy, and it certainly makes her crazy. Does she lose respect for me in the process? A little bit. Something to think about. Till tomorrow, hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in life.